Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class we're going to learn how to make this beautiful triangular handkerchief blouse. You can see it's like an handkerchief blouse. It's an off shoulder blouse and it has this side open, and then it has this beautiful trimming all around it. I'm going to be taking you through how to cut this, so I will show you two different methods you can use to cut this. I made this with just 1 yard of fabric, so I'm going to be showing you two different methods you can use to cut this in this tutorial. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this class. Thank you. Okay, so for this off shoulder blouse, I'm going to be working with this fabric. This is an Ankara fabric, and then I'm going to work with this trimming as well. So this fabric is around 1 yard. Okay, that's all I have, and I really like the fabric, so that's why I'm working with it. It's just around 1 yard, so this is around 39 inches. So I'm going to be folding it like I'm folding a triangle, okay, like almost like a scarf. So you can see the way I'm folding it like this. But because it's not perfect, like this is not the measurement that I have on the length. Remember, the length of Ankara is 45, and what I have on my yard area is around 39. So it is not going to be exactly equal. Once you fold the triangle like this, we are going to have excess on one side, which is what we have here. I hope you can see the way I folded this. Remember, I have my 1 yard like this. Now I am folding that 1 yard in a triangular form like this. Okay, I did not fold into two. I just fold directly in the triangular form like this, and I have excess which is on this side. So this excess that I have on this side, I'm going to go ahead and trim it off first. So now I'm going to grab the scissors, and then I'll go ahead and trim off that excess. So the blouse is very simple to make. So this is basically like all you need to do. So now I have done that. You can check. You can now fold into two to check the measurements that you are going to have. This folded part, remember, this part is open, this part is open. This folded part here is going to be my center front and my center back. Now I'm going to measure it to see the length that I have. So for my blouse length, I have about 28 inches, which is fine for me. And then for the shoulder part, I will have the same as well, 28 inches. Remember, it's now a perfect fold because we have cut out the excess. So for the neckline, like I said, is an off shoulder neckline, so you don't need to measure out the neckline. What I just need to do on this fold point, I'm going to just divide it into two. So one side is going to be for front and one side is going to be for back. That was why I said it's simple to make. So what I'm doing now is just to take my scissors again, and then I'm dividing what I have here into two. One side for my front and then the other side for the back. So after cutting into two, this white part is going to be the neckline area. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my trimmings all round. Okay, I'll sew the trimming all around it for both of them. So this is one, this is the first one. So I'll use the trimming to like turn the edges, the rough edges. So I'll place it like this, so, and then you can now fold and top stitch, or you can just fold directly, place your trimming and then stitch on it. Whichever one you want to work with is fine. So we're going to sew it all around here and these two edges as well. So we'll do it for the two patterns. So I have gone ahead to sew the trimming all around. Okay, you do this for both your front and back. You can see we're going to sew it all the way around it, and at the same time you're going to hem your blouse. So you can serge it first, or you can fold it twice before placing. Anyone you want to work with is fine. So I used about 7 to 8 yards of trimming for this. So the next thing to do now is to lay the front and back on each other. So I'm going to lay the front and back on each other, and then we're going to take our measurements. So I folded it into two so that I can get like the midpoint for me to take my measurements. If you know anyhow you can find your midpoint, you may not have to do this. So after getting the midpoint, I'm going to lay it over again like this, and then I'm going to mark out what the midpoint looks like. So now it's an off shoulder blouse, so we are going to bring out our neckline. So depending on how wide you want your blouse to be, for me I'm going to be working with a neck width of around 18 inches. So on fold is going to be 9 inches. That means I'm marking, you can see where my midpoint is. I don't want to mark too much on the fabric, so that is my midpoint. So from there I'm going to mark 9 to the left and 9 to the right. That will be 18 inches in total. Okay, so once I have that, it means this space, this 18 inches space, is what is going to be my neck width. So now I'm going to tack, just like tacking. So between 1 to 2 inches I'm going to be sewing it here so that I can hold it together here. So you can even use 1 inch or 1.5 inches from where your 9 inches stop. So let me just hold that part with a pin, so you just know I'm sewing from here to here. Then I'm going to leave the rest opened just like this. So I have pinned that part, and then I'll go ahead to sew it. So on the other side as well, where this stops, I'm going to mark another 1.5 inches where my 9 inches stop, and then I'm going to sew that together here, from here to here. That's all you need to sew to hold it down. Then the rest is going to be opened like this. So now to shape it, we're going to be shaping it like we shape boo-boo. So from the shoulder here, I'm not working with my actual armhole. My actual armhole is 9 inches, so I'm just going to come down by 1 or 2 inches. So let's say I'm coming to 10 inches. So 10 inches is going to be somewhere around here. So on that part I'm going to take my bust measurement. The bust is 44, divided by 4 is 11. So I'll add this to it, and I'll leave it at maybe 11.5 or 12 inches. So I'm going to mark that here, and then I'm going to mark, sorry, my camera stopped recording. So you're going to mark that here. I'm marking around 11.5 to 12 inches, depending on how much is you are willing to put. So I'll go ahead from there again. I'm going to mark the same thing on this side. So that is where I will start sewing from. So from there again, I'm going to mark my waist inches. My waist is 15. That's your half length. So on that point, you're going to take your waist measurement as well. For me, that's 9 inches. That's 8.5 plus half inch in my allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and connect like this, and then I'm going to do the same thing for this side as well. I'm going to connect it to the hem like this. So here that I have marked, that's where you are going to go ahead to sew, and your blouse is ready. So we are just joining here, the 1.5 inches here, and then we are shaping this side like this as well. So before I go ahead to sew on the machine, I just want us to know that there are 2 different methods you can use to get this. I use that first method because, like I said, my fabric is just a yard. So if you have more fabric, let's say 1.25 on 1.5 yard of fabric, all you just need to do is to fold your fabric into 2 first like this. I'm going to tell you the difference between the 2 methods. You're going to fold your fabric into 2 first like this. Then after folding into 2, remember that one, the first one we just folded like this. Okay, we folded like this triangular, and then we cut off the excess. But for this method, you're going to fold your fabric into 2 first. Then after folding into 2, you now fold in the triangular form. That's the difference. The first one we just folded triangularly, and then we cut off the excess. But for this, you're going to fold into 2, and then you're going to fold triangular like this. So after folding it like this, the excess that you have here, you can go ahead and cut it off as well. So now when you cut it off, you are going to have this part that is completely folded, and then you're going to have the other parts that are opened. Okay, so this other part that is still closed, we are still going to open it up, but I don't want it to be separate now. That's why I'm not opening it. But the main thing I want you to know is that this part that is completely folded, that is long, that's going to be your center front. Okay, so now you are going to take your measurement, your neckline measurement on this part. Remember, for that one we just opened the upper part, but for this you are going to take your neckline measurement. So you can measure around your shoulder for that, or you can use between 9 to 10 inches depending on how off you want it to be. So you are going to take that measurement here and you are going to make a straight line. You can cut it out on fold like this, or you can just open it out so that you can have something straight. You don't want to have something free. So anywhere you have, so when you open it out, it's no longer going to be 10 inches, it's going to be 20 inches. So anywhere you can see your 20 inches, that's where you're going to mark on like this, and then you grab your scissors and then cut it out. Okay, so you can see the shape that we have for this. So here now you can maintain what you have, or you can just measure your neck depth, your blouse length. So remember, for me, I'm using around 28 inches. So from the upper part you can measure your 28 inches as well. So if it is too long, let's say your 28 inches stops here, what you just need to do is to connect this back to the side with your ruler, and then you cut it out. I hope you understand this. I just want us to see many. So this method, difference between this method and that method is that, remember, we cut out a neckline for this method and the shoulder is already dropping. So for the first method that I am using for mine, the neckline may be a little bit up for you. So if you want it to just drop down a little bit and then you have enough fabric for this, you can use this other method that I just explained. So you fold your fabric into two and then you fold in a triangular form, mark out your neckline like this, cut it out, and then you're going to sew your trimming all around this. Okay, you're going to sew your trimming all around this. So I'll go ahead and sew the trimming now. Okay, so you can see now that I have gone ahead to sew it. Okay, so when I sew it at first with 9 inches, it did not really drop on my shoulder. So because this is for a plus size, so I had to increase it. So instead of 9 inches, I used 20 inches, which means 10 inches on fold. So you can see, I sew from here to here, which is exactly 20 inches. So this opening now for me is 20 inches. I did not use 9 inches. So another way you can get that is by measuring around your shoulder. So if you measure around your shoulder, what you have, you can just input it. So now I have sewn the neckline and I have sewn the side as well. So for the other method, it is the same thing. It's just that the shape is quite different. For this, you can see, because you just opened the head, you can see the shape is just straight like that. But for this second method, you can see we have it and then we have the shoulder dropping down. So now, since you have already cut out your neckline, so what you just need to do is to mark your 1.5 inches here on the shoulder area. So you sew down the 1.5 on the shoulder on both sides just to hold this. Then this part is going to be open, and then the same way we shape the side by measuring your bust and your waist, that's the same way you are going to shape this as well. So it's still the same thing. The only difference is that on the neckline area, this may be a little higher than what you are going to have here. So you can just test out the two methods and then you pick the one that you feel is okay for you. Okay, so you can see this part on the upper part is straight, but for this we have the neckline straight and then the shoulder is already dropped down. That is the difference between the two methods. So I'll take this to the mannequin now so that we can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the mannequin. You can see how beautiful it is. You can see the trimming, how it came out as well. So here you can see the neckline is a little bit higher, so you can try out the other method to see what the neckline is going to look like. And if you want it to come down a little bit, remember we tack it on the ankara. You can tack it on the upper part, which is the trimming. So you can just pack the trimming together like this to hold this down, so that way your neckline can come down a little bit more if that is what you want. You can see how free this is looking and how cute it is. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.